and you're listening to Frey. Starting right now. Here's your host, Alfredo Leon.
Thank you, Ella, and this is indeed Frey, and let's get started with a legend and Boston Celtics icon scheduled to get his number retired. His number 34 retired, and that's Paul Pierce. Pierce is scheduled to get his number retired by the Celtics on February 11, 2018 against the Cleveland Cavaliers at TD Garden. This announcement was made on Friday, August 18th by the team themselves. Pierce will be the 22nd player to have his number retired by the Celtics, and the first since Cedric Maxwell in 2003, in which Maxwell's 31 was retired. Pierce's number was also retired at the University of Kansas in 2003. Pierce is the Celtics' all-time leader in free throws with 6,434, three-pointers with 1,823, and steals with 1,523. He is also second in points with 24,021, third in minutes with 40,360. He's also seventh in rebounds with 6,651, fifth in assists with 4,205, and fourth in blocked shots with 668. Pierce also led the Celtics to their only championship since 1986, in which he took home Finals MVP honors after the Celtics defeated the Los Angeles Lakers in 2008. Pierce officially retired from the NBA in July after he signed a one-day contract with Boston. The Celtics co-owner, Wyc Grousbeck, spoke about Pierce. "We teamed up with Paul from the beginning of our ownership and grew to be champions together," said Grousbeck. "He's a great person and a great Celtic. There were 10 other Celtics that wore the number 34 prior to Pierce being drafted 10th overall by them in 1998. Pretty remarkable that not a lot of players wore 34, despite an incredible history there with the Celtics prior to Pierce. There won't be any more players wearing 34 after Pierce after this, that's for sure." The Celtics president of basketball operations, Danny Ainge, also spoke on Pierce. "I will always be grateful for the sacrifices Paul made to help the Celtics be great," said Ainge. "His love for the game was contagious and his talents and hard work were legendary. He was one of the greatest players of his era." Good statement there. Makes sense because of what Pierce was able to do for the Celtics and for the NBA as well. Pierce also spoke on himself getting the honor of his jersey being retired. "The moment I was drafted by the Celtics, I knew I was joining one of the most historic organizations in the NBA," Pierce said. "For 15 years I played at the Garden, looking up at the jerseys of some of the most iconic players in the game, Russell, Bird, and Cousy. To now be recognized alongside those names is such an honor. I have always said I would be a Celtic for life, and now it's really coming true." Pierce's number will be raised to the rafters at TD Garden less than 10 years after helping the Celtics win their 17th championship in 2008, as stated earlier, in that same building. As he faced the Lakers for the first time in his first finals appearance, Pierce had a 22-point game in Game 1 and followed that up in Game 2 with 28 more points on 9 of 16 shooting from the field, with being 4 of 4 from three-point range, and 8 assists in their blowout win there against the Lakers. His 38 points in Game 5 was his second highest scoring game in the playoffs that year in 26 postseason games. As said earlier, Pierce was named Finals MVP, which made him the third Celtic to earn MVP honors in his first Finals appearance after JoJo White in 1974 and Cedric Maxwell in 1981. Pierce averaged 21.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.8 steals, and 38.8 minutes in that six-game series in which they won their first championship since 1986. Pierce also shot 43% from the field and 39% from three and 83% from the free throw line in that series. Celtics co-owner Steve Pagliuca spoke on Pierce. "Paul was a transcendent player, a great leader, and wonderful teammate. Simply one of the great Celtics in every way," said Pagliuca. "His number in the rafters will forever remind us of the joy he brought to the game of basketball and his love for the fans in the city of Boston." Even though Pierce's role in the finals will be remembered as a big part of his legacy, what Pierce did earlier in the playoffs is also one of the more iconic moments in his career. In Game 7 of the conference semifinals, Pierce and LeBron James battled head-to-head in a back-and-forth scoring affair, in which both star players scored over 40 points each. The captain of the Celtics had a team-high 41 points, while shooting 13 of 23 from the field and 4 of 6 from 3 to come on top against Cleveland by a score of 97-92 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Pierce's 15 seasons in Boston lasted from 1998 to 2013, trails only John Havlicek for the most seasons in a Celtics uniform. Havlicek played 16 seasons with the Celtics. Pierce averaged 21.8 points, 6.0 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.44 steals in 36.6 minutes. And 36.6 minutes in 1,102 career games with the franchise. He also shot 44.7% from the field and 37% from behind the three-point arc and 80.6% from the stripe. Pierce earned his nickname The Truth during the 2001 season, in which was his third year in the league then. This is a great honor for Pierce. He deserves it as being one of the all-time great Celtics and homegrown Celtic, helping the Celtics win that championship in 2008 for the first time since '86, as I said earlier. Well deserved. One of the great players all time in the Celtics. One of the homegrown players. He deserved it as he spent the longevity with the Celtics, having all those great accomplishments there. He said he wanted to come back to the Celtics. He would have came back if it weren't for Doc Rivers offering him that contract to go back to the Clippers. But he would have came back to the Celtics. But Rivers said that he would resign he would retire the Celtic, and he did. He signed that one-day contract back in July, like I said earlier. But well deserved as he's one of the greatest Celtics of all time, winning that championship in 2008. Was able to end that drought, and he helped lead the team there as he won Finals MVP honors. The Celtics weren't that good with Pierce prior to they got Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, and after that they took off, in which they won that '08 championship, and then they made the Finals again in 2010, even though they lost that Finals. But it just showed when Pierce how great of a player he was and the impact he made, being the nickname The Truth. Shaquille O'Neal called him The Truth, nicknamed him that. It just shows like how great of a player he was. All the battles he had with LeBron James just shows how great of a player he was and the impact he made there. This was well deserved. Pierce, Paul Pierce, congratulations, you deserve it. One of the all-time great Celtics of all time, and the fact that he's trails John Havlicek as the most seasons ever played in the Celtics uniform. That's incredible, unbelievable. That means Larry Bird never did it. That means Robert Parrish never did it. That means Kevin McHale never did it. And those guys were Celtics for a long time. And the fact that Pierce was only the trails John Havlicek as the most all time in Celtics history and the number of seasons played with the club, that's unbelievable. It shows the longevity he's had and the number of points he scored, rebounds, assists, everything. Like I said earlier, he well deserves it. Hall of Fame numbers. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. And he'll get in as soon as he's eligible. I know it. Just because of the impact he made with the Celtics and how great of a player he was. Very unappreciative for what he did. He deserved more credit than what he got by the league as he played in the league at the time with LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, etc. in their prime. And he didn't get a lot of attention, but he should have because of how great of a player he was and very underrated as well. Very everything like that. But he was great and he deserves to get his number retired. Like I said, first ballot Hall of Famer. Like I said, he's going to be that easily because of what he did with the Celtics, helping them win a championship, something that they hadn't done since '86. Unbelievable what he did there. They deserved it, and he deserves getting his number retired because of how great of a player he was. Like I said, he deserves it. This is just unbelievable accomplishment. He deserves it, like I said, and the fact that no Celtic have been retired a jersey since 2003 showed like how much the Celtics had struggled recently. They didn't have a lot of great players prior to Paul Pierce. So they didn't have a lot of success in the 90s, even though they made the playoffs a couple of times. After Larry Bird retired and Kevin McHale retired, they didn't really have a lot of success prior to they drafted Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce should not have been drafted 10th. So that's just unbelievable. Those teams that didn't draft him prior to that, the 9 teams that didn't draft Pierce prior to the Celtics, regret that. But the Celtics are glad they got him, as Paul Pierce is just an unbelievable player. Great 3-point shooter, good athlete, go taking it to the basket. He made a ton of all-star games. He did a lot for the league, and it's a shame that he didn't finish his career with the Celtics because he could have done a lot more there. But he wanted to win a championship, it says, even though once he got traded to the Nets and then signed with the Clippers and the Wizards as well prior to the Clippers. But at least he ended his career with the Celtics by signing that one-day contract, which is good. But it would have been nice, though, if he finished his entire career in Boston. But this is the thing with the NBA nowadays, as players... it's a business as players be going from teams to teams. It's kind of hard to do what Kobe Bryant did or Tim Duncan did or Reggie Miller staying there, or even John Stockton spending their entire career with one franchise. That's hard to do with the NBA, especially as it's a business. And the Celtics traded him away to the Nets. It wound up working out as they got so many draft picks. They drafted Jason Tatum. They drafted a lot of guys as because of the trades they made. Well, even though they had the number 1 pick and they traded the pick for Jason Tatum, it just showed when they traded away Paul Pierce because they thought they were going to be in rebuilding mode, and the Brooklyn Nets thought that they had a chance when they got him, but they only had him for a year and then they let him go because he was a free agent. But Paul Pierce was a great player of the Celtics, and he is the Celtics in recent times because of the impact he made with the team and the community and what he was able to do on and off the court because of the talent he had, scoring a lot of points, rebounds, also everything like I said earlier. It's just that it's a matter of the NBA. It's a business. He didn't want to leave Boston. He never wanted to be traded. It caught him by surprise when he got traded, and opportunity just presented itself for the Celtics, and the Nets wanted that to try to win. And the Celtics thought they weren't rebuilding prior to they got Isaiah Thomas, and now the Celtics are good again. And because of acquiring all those draft picks, they're well better off in the future. And the trade for Paul Pierce wound up being a blessing in disguise for the Celtics, as they were able to stockpile draft picks and end up trying to win a lot of games. But Pierce deserves it, like I said. Congratulations to him getting this honor. It's hard to do, get an honor like that. The Celtics, they hadn't retired the numbers since 2003, but they have so many retired numbers because of all the success they had in the NBA. And it's very cool for Pierce to be able to join that exclusive club there, as you have to be a great player to try to do that on the historic franchise, do that like on the Celtics or the Lakers or the New York Yankees, be able to get your number retired by a team like that historic shows that you have to have a great impact on the franchise, and Pierce did that as like I said, he did a lot for the team and everything like that. Just incredible accomplishment. He deserves it, and he's one of the all-time great Celtics for sure. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.